load shedding, high levels of corruption, Parliament banned under your leadership of government, and not because it was banned by a homeless person, but due to negligence, dysfunctional public health care system and infrastructure. Our education infrastructure is still incomplete, and children still go to mud schools and use pit toilets. Neglect of the sports, arts and culture sector, which you never said anything about during Sona. You never ever said, not even a word, about sports, arts and culture. And that shows that you have no regard for all those young people who are involved in these activities. High levels of crime, dismal failure of the state criminal justice system to decisively deal with gender-based violence and femicide. Local government, particularly in rural areas, is dysfunctional, with more than 128 municipalities in financial distress. Under your tenure as president, the situation in South Africa has gone from bad to worse. The fact of the matter is, Mr. President, your dream of being a president has come true. Please, now that you have fulfilled your dream of wanting to become a president, why are you not leaving us in peace? Because the highest ambition you ever held was to become a president. You have become a president. Now you want to come and serve for a second term. To do what? Because you are not doing anything. You are just on top, but doing nothing on top. What began as a so-called new dawn has become massive unemployment, increased violence against women and children, collapsing hospitals, and the greatest threats against the security of the state in the post-democratic South Africa. The state-owned enterprises have all collapsed under Jamnandas, but you can't do anything because you are very scared of Jamnandas, who played a central role in raising funds for CR17. You are forever indebted to him, even when he's not performing well. Imagine ministers are being called here by your friends that they must resign, but they don't call the name of Jamnandas because he is their friend. He's not failing them in ensuring that they discriminate against our African brothers. We want you not to surrender this country to the Ruperts.
Honorable member, please take your seat. There's a point of order. Honorable Khatebe. Okay. Thank you. Honorable Khatebe, please use a mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. According to Rule 14.0, we cannot call each other by first names. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Malema. Honorable Praveen is Honorable Praveen, not Jamlandas. Thank you very much. Honorable Member Jamlandas or Praveen. Thank you. You may proceed.
Mr. Jamlandas, what began as a so-called new dawn has become a massive unemployment, increased violence against women and children, collapsing hospitals, the greatest threat against the security of the state in post-democratic South Africa. When you assumed office, we want you, in the same way we want your predecessor, that the people of this country have not elected you to act in the interest of a small elite. We want you not to surrender this country to the Ruperts and the Oppenheimers, who played a vital role in funding your lifelong dream of being a president of this country. Unfortunately, you did not listen to this warning and became a shapeless individual whose term was an important concoction of special envoys, presidential task teams and summits. You wasted 5 years setting up structures in which you placed your friends from the business sector to resolve political problems. You did this because you mistook government to be the same as running a company. As a result, our people's suffering intensified while you sat and waited for capital to rescue the situation. You now want to auction off the country to the highest bidder by privatization of state-owned companies, and we all know who will buy state-owned assets. The white minority capitalist class that is at the core of your leadership of our people. We reject all forms of privatization that you plan to embark on, and we will go to the streets to reject any form of privatization. We gave you an opportunity to reclaim the land through our proposed amendment of Section 25 of the Constitution, and you hijacked our motion, distorted it, and asked us to only expropriate abandoned and rotten land. We rejected that with contempt. What do we do with rotten land? What are we going to do with a rotten land which is not productive? We want land that is prime. We want land that is of value to our people. There is absolutely nothing that you have done for black people. You seem to think that each State of the Nation address is the beginning of a new term as president, which is why there is no consistency and implementation of your own objectives. We will today take you through the mess you presided over and your many unfulfilled promises. In 2019, you claimed that you plan to ignite economic activity, restore investor confidence, support employment, and address the urgent challenges that affect the lives of vulnerable members of our society. Since then, you have been in charge for 15 financial year quarters, of which 8 had negative growth with technical recession in the process. From the last State of the Nation address in 2021 to date, unemployment has increased from 30.8% to 34.9%. In 2019, you said to us you will create 275,000 additional direct jobs every year. When you became president in 2018, unemployment was 26.7%, sitting at 5.9 million people. In 2021 quarter 3, the unemployment rate increased from 34.9%, increasing to 7.6 million people. To put this simply, more than 1.7 million people have lost their jobs since you became president. You have now abandoned your strategy of summits and thumb-sucked job creation figures and told us that the private sector must create jobs. You do this because you are running from absolute failure to create employment. The suggestion that the private sector must lead to job creation is a neoliberal policy born out of consensus reached by the G7 when they summoned you to take pictures with them like a child. You have now returned here, conspired with a racist official opposition to force down capitalist understanding of development that sidelines a democratically elected government. The state must be at the center of job creation, and any compromise on that is an attempt to turn this country into a PTY LTD. The state of security in this country is beyond embarrassing, and you have done nothing to give an impression that our people are safe under your leadership. You took the whole intelligence into your office and appointed the most unintelligent person to head the intelligence. He always liked posturing and giving an impression that he's an ideologue. He came here before me. You saw him, Honorable Mbuisen. He was like this. There is a difference between idea and facts. Let me tell you, like he's going to say something abstract and says nothing. That's him. He's like that. And that's how he finishes the president all the time in the office. You see, Mr. President, nothing. You have passed a motion of no confidence on a young person in a form of Zizigodo. That is the young person that you should be grooming, who should be correcting that institution of the intelligence and make it functional. I do not understand this thing, Honorable Deputy President. Your hatred for your young people is visible. You hate young people with passion, and a young person with potential gets to be destroyed in your organization. What is wrong with giving Zizi the full responsibility of being a